Okay, so my name's Mikey. Let's get some names around. What's your name?
Sabina.
Oh, hang on. Okay.
Bina.
Bina or Sabina?
Yes, you can. You
can
say
choose.
Bina, so Bina is fine.
Okay, all right. Okay, hang on. And
I'm Birte.
okay, I'm going to turn you up a little bit.
I'm Birte.
And
Doralba. Doralba.
Doralba. And I'm Mikey. Thanks for coming to sit down. Anyone got anything? Oh, one thing we didn't do that we need to do. Maybe not for now. So we're just starting up.
For our mouse.
Yeah. We just got to just take this on. And we've got another new face to the table. So we've got Bina and Birte and Doralba. And what's your name?
Gaz.
Gaz, and I'm Mikey. And the way this Talkaoke works, you may not be familiar with it, it's kind of up to you to decide what you want to talk about. So it could be anything. We don't have a subject. We've got literally no idea what people are going to talk about tonight. And obviously we'll go from subject to subject. It won't be just one. Come and get involved in this man in the hat. I don't know who you are, but come and get involved in this. We're lacking a subject, so let's find out. You will bring them over. Don't worry. I'm sure with your clever conjecture. So we have got Bina, we've got Gaz, we've got Doralba, we've got Birte and
Gary.
Gary, welcome. We don't have a subject yet, though. So has anyone got any thoughts, ideas? Gaz?
Pool played in Russia.
Pool played in Russia?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever played pool in Russia?
I've never actually been to Russia.
Right, okay. Why do you want to talk about pool played in... Come and have a seat, come and get involved in this. You might want to drink first. Has anyone here ever played pool in Russia?
I've eaten pizza in Russia.
Yeah.
And it was super expensive.
Okay.
Clean me out.
Okay, what political system did you make the pizza under? That's a gag.
It was a Putin-esque pizza.
A Putin-esque, that was a Putin-esque, yeah. Pizza Putin-esque, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so...
Pizza.
Yeah. So pool in Russia, pizza in Russia. I mean, somehow we've gone on the Russian theme.
Do the colours of the pool balls translate into English?
I don't know. I mean, what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you've got red, green, blue. It's kind of universal, isn't it?
Is it a universal colour system?
Pretty much, I think.
I mean, do Russians kind of have trouble with different colours? Do colours mean different things in different countries?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in Europe, I think most countries means the same things. But I think, like for instance, if you wear white in the Far East, it's the color of death. It's a mourning color.
Oh, really?
Whereas in Sicily, it's black.
Right,
Or in the whole of Italy, it's black.
Yeah.
So when you're in mourning, kind of thing.
Okay.
So that sort of connotation is. Some of them are quite different. I don't know about every single color, but there are quite a few differences. Yeah, I mean something like, for instance, I think brides in certain Eastern countries.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one is exactly, but they need to be head to toe in red.
Right.
That's supposed to be the virginal color instead of white. So different countries, different beliefs, different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyone else got any examples of that? Yeah.
What about green? What about green? I think green might be kind of universal.
You think green is universal for what?
For plants and things like that.
Yeah, sort of a natural state.
Natural state.
Okay.
Dollars.
Yeah, green dollars.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
no,
dollars
you see, I'm
universal.
wrong. I'm totally
In Islam, green is the color of faith, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, is that related to nature? Is it because of nature?
I don't know. I don't really know.
Okay. Maybe we can put that out there.
I think in Germany it's also color for hope.
Green.
Yeah, hope. Green.
In
hope
in what context?
Non-specific.
There's a saying, you say hope is green in German.
Really?
Grün ist die Hoffnung, yeah.
What hope is green in German? Okay, interesting.
And what about blue then?
Yeah. I mean, what is blue? What is blue for you?
Blue is like I've got the blues.
So sad.
Or blue water, like lagoons.
Yeah. Blue water. What's blue water? Just for
like lagoons and that.
Okay.
Sort of blue.
All right. Okay. All right, so
Blue
maybe we
sky.
could go around and just kind of.
I think we have a comment on.
Yeah.
Your friend is putting her hand up.
Okay. I'm glad you noticed because I'm supposed to notice that actually in the middle.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I just wanted to say it's funny because
Yeah.
in German blue, if somebody is blue, it means that they're drunk.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
We're talking about colours. Do colours mean things in different countries? What does green mean? What does blue mean? I'm going to go around. So blue means drunk. It means sad.
He's drunk.
I painted.
What does blue mean in Sicily?
I don't know, but I painted a bedroom, my bedroom years ago blue,
Right.
and that because I wanted it to be sort of a calm environment, not sad.
So you thought blue was calm.
Yeah, well, it was light blue, but yes,
Like-
I wanted to be not an overstimulating color. I just
Right.
wanted to go in there and unwind, sort of thing, and just go to sleep.
Okay, so
It was very nice.
for you it was like blue.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Blue. What does blue mean to you?
Yeah, blue's for boys and pink is for girls.
Okay. Okay. Well, we've obviously got ourselves a very feminine Talkaoke table.
Okay, orange.
Yeah. What does orange mean to you?
Orange has got new connotations for like Trump and things like that.
So orange. Oh, so orange is Donald Trump.
Oh no, I didn't mean
Did
that.
Donald Trump supporters wear orange?
I don't know.
Just to
Hare
kind of to
Krishnas.
match.
It's all, when
Yeah.
I'm painting now.
Yeah.
Orange is like, oh, don't use orange because
Right. So you're a painter.
I'm a painter. Yeah.
So you are kind of.
Yeah,
do
and I
consider colour.
feel a little bit bereft because I used to love orange.
Right. Did you paint all the face, all the portraits orange?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and now Donald Trump-
I paint loads of things orange.
No, you can't paint people orange.
No,
then.
I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about this. What's happened to my orange?
I mean, it's
I feel it's
interesting.
been stolen away
It's
from.
interesting how colours change and how the meaning of colours change. Like, you know, an orange face meant something different before Donald Trump, for
Yeah,
example.
what's-
Yeah.
You know, I used to wear a lot of black. Well,
Yeah, you're doing it.
not
yeah.
used to,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
Then I do wear a lot of red as well, and
Yeah.
I sometimes wear them together. I am told, sometimes I've been told on a few occasions, oh, you're wearing fascist colours.
No.
Really?
Yes.
Black and red is fascist colours.
Apparently.
Right. Yeah.
Black and red comes from
Yeah.
Native American Indians,
I mean, I love them.
and
Really?
their code was
Yeah.
white and red and black, and then the Nazis stole that colour scheme.
They stole it from the Native Americans.
Yeah.
Okay, so in a way, colour's got a language, but the language changes. It changes from place to place, from time to time. Does that mean we can actually influence the change? Could we ascribe a new meaning to a colour?
I think it's very important to refer to what you were saying before, that your orange has been stolen. I think we can't let that happen. We can't
Yeah.
let the I mean, it's not only about the colors. It's about the symbols and all, and the sayings and all the
Yeah.
and the topics also, because
So for you, is language a kind of battle then?
yeah.
Or
Probably.
colour a battle? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean the colors. I think there have been some. For example, in Brazil, there's a battle going on between now with the new
Yeah.
president. There's a battle
Yeah.
going on between the people who wear red, who are supposed to be leftist, and then
Right.
the other people who are nationalists, who are wearing the green and yellow, which are the national colors.
Right. So green and
And-
yellow actually means like nationalist in Brazil.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
the flag, and but now it's
Yeah.
the colors of Bolsonaro, which the new president. So you can get beat up on the street when you're wearing red,
Right.
and I think that's something that it shouldn't. It's not
I mean,
supposed to happen.
would it
like
be
this.
some? Would I get beaten up wearing this?
Yeah, you would, because you're wearing colorful stuff as a guy,
Really? I thought-
and this
I
is
thought
not
this is
something that
Brazil.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, we got a new face at the table. What's your name?
Dave.
Dave. We got Bina. We got Gaz. We got Doralba and Beata and Mikey. And
Hi.
at the moment we're sort of talking about colours and their meanings. It's kind of fluid. It's different in different countries. Come and join in. What do colours mean to you? Are you an artist?
Robert, come on,
you can do
Robert,
it.
Robert.
Let's give him a round of applause. Come on.
Robert's Polish.
Oh yeah.
Robert's Polish, and he's
Yeah.
slightly nervous of his English, but actually
yeah.
it's really good.
Oh yeah. Come on, witamy. Witamy. Zapraszam.
Hey, he's coming.
Yay.
Okay, so we know your name already, but this is just a formality. Can you say
Yeah,
your
my name is Robert.
Robert? We've got Beata, we've got Daralba, we've got Gaz, we've got what's it again? Dave, and we got Bina. Come and join in. Come and get involved in this. We're talking about yes, you can. We're talking about colours. Different colours mean different. Do you know? If you wear red in Brazil, you get beaten up. Apparently. And where are you from?
I'm from Poland. I was born in Poland,
yeah.
but I have been in London for
a long time.
6 years.
Do
almost.
colours have different meaning?
Yeah, of course.
In Poland?
I'm a filmmaker, and the colors just they change everything.
Yeah. I mean,
Even like for normal life, if you just wake up every day, if you just pick it's like for me, if you pick the color.
Come and have a seat. We're talking about colours. The colours mean different things in different languages. What does green mean for you? Anyway, go on.
Anyway, if you just wake up and you just pick after that you pick the color. I think the color that will change your day and they make your day. It's just very important, I think.
I mean, what colour day are you having today?
I like kind of dark colors.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the blue is my color.
Yeah.
Blue. Yeah.
Blue.
Blue. Yeah.
Okay.
Like ocean or kind
ocean
of.
blue. I mean, you're similar to Durrell, but she painted their bedroom blue once to have a sense of calm.
Oh man! About the walls, I keep white.
Really?
I like.
Why?
I don't know. I like white.
So you like colours, but you don't like.
But in my house or my flat, whatever, I prefer white. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you do the number 48 there? Because that's all white, and all the walls are all white.
No.
The gallery, yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, all the walls are white. So was that your idea?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I think it was like kind of they didn't paint it.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, colour.
Yeah.
Like people say smells bring back memories, but for me, if I see a particular colour, well, not one particular colour, but various different particular colours, they remind me of memories of childhood.
What is the palette of childhood for you?
I don't know, and I can't even analyse it, but it'd be like a turquoise or a sort of like a. Like if I see a particular type of turquoise, I become obsessed with it.
Right.
Like I was obsessed with that colour when I was a child.
Okay, so it sort of brings back memories, a bit like smells do. Okay, I mean, does anyone else feel like that? That colours bring back memories, and what memories? I mean, we were talking about this earlier on.
Bert was talking about it.
Yeah, you were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, about grey. You mean grey? Grey and brown and all these beautiful colours.
Does that bring back childhood memories?
Yeah,
I mean, when you see grey and brown now.
Yeah, I was talking about. I was browsing photos from my hometown from 20, 30 years ago, and I remember Weimar in Germany, eastern part of Germany. So it was really grey through many years, and now everything is painted and new and not grey anymore. So looking at these grey pictures really reminded me of my childhood. And
right. So for you, your childhood. I mean, was your childhood grey?
It was grey, but it was good.
Right. Okay.
But to see these buildings again in their how they looked, graffiti. No. Graffiti. What are you thinking of?
Like okay, so we've got,
it wasn't allowed, so you would go to jail. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the colour of childhood. For you, it's turquoise, amongst other. What colour was your childhood? That's what we're talking about at the moment. We've got grey, we've got turquoise. Anyone else want to? What's that?
It sounds so sad when you say my childhood is grey.
Yeah.
Basically, I have the same experience because I was born in communism, and then basically.
Whereabouts? What town were you born?
Oh man, I was born in Wrocław. You don't know. It's just kind of And basically, everything was like the black and white or grey. Same experience. But my grandparents they live in the village.
Yeah.
And it was amazing when every weekend with my parents we went to see them. Was just colorful. Like it was the kind of.
So in the countryside.
Yeah, like
it was
from
very,
Monday
very
to Friday, it
colourful.
was just my life was black and white, and then over the weekend it was just.
Okay, so
amazing.
black and white weekdays, colourful weekends. Okay, we got a new face at the table. Come and join us if you want to. We're talking about colours. What colour was your childhood? Blue. Okay, interesting. Thanks for that. We got a new face. What's your name?
John Baker.
John Baker. We have got Dave. We've got Daralba. We've got Beata. We've got Robert, and I'm Mikey. We've got Bina here. We're talking about colours and how, in a way, what's the word? Evocative colours can be of childhood, of other emotions. I mean, I guess there's a lot of artists around and about the table tonight. I mean, have you got any views on this? Or do you want to just listen in?
I'll listen in for at the moment. Yeah, just,
okay. I mean, what about other people? What colour was your childhood?
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
I was born in Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
And I recently went back. I did a job in Nigeria, and then I had 2 weeks. I booked 2 weeks off afterwards to go and see where I was born in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in Nigerian culture, is like clashing colours are not a problem.
Right.
It's just part of the culture.
Right.
And when I do my art, it's like unbelievable clashing colours, and people have a real problem with the fact that the colours are clashing. But for me, it's normal.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, you mean very vivid colours, or is it
vivid, like pink and purple, for instance? Like you know, in the English palette is very subdued.
Right.
It's it's kind of like very considered and subdued, whereas in Nigeria it's like ridiculous clashing colours that they are completely proud of and actually unaware of, you know, because it's just their culture.
It's not a clash, it's just vivid.
Just is what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, well, I guess so. I mean, this shirt is actually a Polynesian shirt that I got from Australia. So I've never been to Polynesia, so I don't know what the story is there with their colour scheme and their palette. I mean, what about, because we've got people that are, in a way, we're very privileged here, because we've got people that have come from or at least been born in all different places around the world. And I've never really thought before about how colour, you know, you've got a colour scheme that goes with your kind of childhood, your upbringing. Gaz, Daralba, Bina, have you got any views on this, John? Have you?
Another colour.
Yeah.
Another colour is like in England, like I really like using red.
Yeah.
And in England, burgundy is kind of royal.
Right.
It's like a royal colour.
Yeah, but what does that mean when it's royal?
Well, it means I can't use it in my paintings. It pisses me off.
Right, okay. Is that because... Okay, well, why do you not use... Okay, it's because it's royal, but why do you not want to associate with...
Because they're,
royal?
you know, multi-millionaires and they annoy me.
Okay, so that means you can't really use burgundy.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you? Is it all in? I mean, is it all in the word? What if you called it claret?
Yeah.
Could you use it then?
Yeah.
No, claret is actually okay.
Okay. What is the difference between claret and burgundy? Just for those.
Claret is like the colour of wine. So
yeah. But isn't burgundy a wine as well?
Burgundy is kind of like, you know, oh my God, there's a royal car and all that sort of thing, and it's oh crikey, that's shape-shifting lizards, let's hide.
Okay.
So as soon as I get onto burgundy, I press pause when I'm painting.
Right. Okay. Because suddenly you're a bit too royal. You're a bit too close to the royal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is really true.
But it's a fine line between burgundy and claret. Anything on this side of the table? John, you've not said anything. Do you have this same? Because I'm sure not everybody has the same kind of vivid connection to colour. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. Have you got a connection to colour on this?
Not really. No, I usually more black and white kind of
black
guy.
And white, yeah. You like black and white?
Do I like it? No, not really. It just what I seem to.
So you go black and white, but you don't particularly like it.
No, it's no. I don't know. When I used to do stuff, I used to get told off by other artists because I didn't use colour as colour.
Yeah.
I used to use it as more like form.
Yeah.
And they said that you can't use
colour. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'd use it. in a way that described form rather than using it as colours, if you get me.
I don't know. Sure I get you, but I mean, what you mean? Yeah. What is it?
Yeah. You're using the black to make the form.
Right.
On a white surface.
Oh right, I see. So instead of like just using black and white to make shapes. Yeah.
Even with colour, what would happen is you'd use red, and you said you use it as a dark form, but more to do with temperature. Yeah.
Back to the
no burgundy.
Not burgundy though.
No burgundy.
Yeah.
But and anyway, because the thing is, colours work as a colour sense, or it can use as temperature. I don't know. Some things are you can have a blue, but you can have a hot blue and a cold blue.
Right. Can you give us an example of a hot blue?
A hot blue. Well, you're going towards more purple kind of at the end, because things when mixed with white, it goes colder. Anyway,
we've got a couple of new faces to the table. What's your name?
Lucy.
And we got.
I'm Gary.
Gary, we know we've had you already. So we got Bina, we got John Baker, we've got Robert, we've got Beata, we've got Duralba, we've got Gaz, and we got Dave. I'm Mikey. Well, we're sort of talking about colour and.
Name Meister.
Amazing.
Well, it's just what I do. Let's not get too excited about it. But the interesting thing, I don't think we've ever, in my 22 years of doing Talkaoke, ever had this discussion about how evocative colours have been for people. Yeah. Well, this is, I think, is closer to the Nigerian sense of a colour palette that Dave was talking. Because apparently, Dave grew up in Nigeria, where they've got a completely different colour palette, but the colours of our childhood somehow still resonate with us. Be it the greys and the browns,
the 70s.
Yeah, or the subdued English palette. Gaz.
Okay. When I was growing up, my dad was allergic to bee stings.
Right.
And if he got stung by a bee, he'd be put in a wheelchair. So now when I use yellow and black in my paintings,
right,
I have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Just in case he's looking over my shoulder.
Right. So and you feel that presence.
Yeah.
You do.
But only when I use black and yellow.
Right. Okay.
So I have to be very careful with black and yellow. And then sometimes I verge on just yellow, and it's too weak to be dealt with. Right. So you have to add some black and yellow, and it's not just an insect thing.
Right. Okay. So. Yeah,
black and yellow.
Do you think, is that about your childhood? Is that about what the meaning of black? I mean,
that's about my childhood, because it was really like, Gaz, I'm allergic to bee stings.
So there's a real fear of this.
Real fear for him.
Pervasive fear.
And I wouldn't want him to see any of my black and white paintings.
Right. Okay.
Because it might freak him out.
Of yellow, yeah.
Well, he might end up in a wheelchair or something.
I mean, if you're allergic to bees, are you allergic to the image of bees as well? Brings up some interesting.
I think what's interesting is the colours of food.
Right.
Because certain foods turn you right off, and other foods really pull you towards them and attract. So I absolutely hated rhubarb, because I didn't like the colour of the greenies.
Really?
I found it slightly sickly, the greeny, purpley colour of rhubarb. So I didn't eat rhubarb for ages.
Well, that's interesting. Anyone else got like a
I think they've done tests where they have given identical plates of food to people, and one of them had a purple light on, and it completely put them off their food. It's exactly the same thing.
So people don't like purple foods.
Yeah, well, exactly that sort of thing. Yeah. And but funnily enough, they don't mind brown.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So brown. Can you have a brown light? Is it possible to have a brown light?
No, but I mean, brown food. I mean, it's thinking about what color does to your head. Brown food, people don't have a problem, but purple they do. So
is
go
there a
figure.
particular food you don't like because of its color?
No, but
aubergine. You don't like aubergine?
No, raisins.
Raisins. You don't like raisins.
Not because of the color, because they look like sort of shriveled up.
But they've kind of got a very deep kind of
rabbit poo.
Rabbit poo. Okay, raisins are too much like rabbit poo. Okay. I think we should go around the table and find out what foods people don't like, because I've never known anyone to not like raisins, and you don't like rhubarb.
I quite like red peppers.
You like red peppers because of the colour.
Orange peppers are just awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any? But I mean, it's more a question of what you don't like.
Don't like green peppers.
Green. You don't like green peppers. Okay.
But I like green jalapenos.
Come and have a seat on the table to chat. We probably need some more seats for this. Gary's on the case. So we're talking about what foods people don't like. Is it because of the colours? We've heard about the purple rhubarb. We've heard about the deep rabbit poo raisins and the green peppers. We've got a new face at the table. Come and have. What's your name?
Asha.
Asha, come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. You're very welcome. No. So Asha, we've got Gaz, we've got Daralba, we've got Beata, we've got Robert, we've got Lucy, we've got John, and we've got Bina on the stores, and Dave over here. And my name's Mikey, as you know. We're talking about. Is there any particular food you don't like, and is it because of the colour?
I eat anything.
You eat anything?
When I'm hungry, I eat anything.
Okay, so it could be anything at all?
Yeah.
Okay. A food you don't like?
I don't like courgettes.
Yeah?
But that's not because of the colour, it's the texture.
Okay, it's the texture. You don't mind either the green or the sort of whatever the internal colour is? I don't know.
No, it's just the texture. I just don't like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Dave's completely forgotten to mention he doesn't like pork, beef or chicken either.
Oh, really?
And it's not because of the colour, is it? But the ones I really hate, I really fucking hate marzipan and licorice. I just can't handle them.
Marzipan and licorice?
Oh, God,
is
no way.
Is it the homogeneity of those things?
Yeah, they sound like sort of chewing on a Victorian dress, you know. It's like, no. Exactly.
Anything about the colour?
Marzipan, perhaps, yeah. But licorice can be any colour, apart from... can be anything, can't it? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go around.
I'm thinking, the only thing I can think of now is a berry, but I don't know what its name is in English. It's in German it's called Stachelbeere. It's very sour and kind of bitter.
What colour is it?
It kind of doesn't have a real colour. It's kind of
a colourless berry.
But kind of whitish and
is it a gooseberry?
Maybe it's like this size.
Yeah. Does it taste a bit like rhubarb?
Yeah, it does. But I love rhubarb.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Gooseberry. Yeah, I don't like gooseberry.
Okay.
Gooseberry can be red or green.
Right.
Very bright green.
Does it matter what colour it is, do you think?
No, it's just gooseberry. I mean, gooseberry is As a kid, my mum used to, I couldn't, weren't allowed to have anything else if you didn't eat gooseberries.
Right. Okay. So there's like a kind of gooseberry test almost.
Yeah, it's gooseberry test. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can eat them now, but I still.
It's a tough job. Okay. So
I want another go, which is that when you buy a pack of peppers, you get a green, an orange and a red.
Yeah.
And all supermarkets know that people don't like the green because it's really bitter, but they love the red and they love the orange because it's sweeter.
Right.
And so they have a lot of trouble shifting the greens.
Is that why they do it?
That's why they put it in a multi-pack.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think people need to be educated that green does become red eventually.
Yeah.
Just
what do you mean the green becomes red?
It does. It changes colour.
I'm done.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we've got a couple of new faces.
Can I just say another thing? I really hate tripe.
Tripe.
Yeah.
Okay. What is tripe?
Tripe is like the
fish.
No, it's a cow's stomach.
Oh, is it?
And
It's
what
disgusting.
What colour is it?
It's just like nondescript.
My grandmother likes
beigey. The texture is awful. The smell is disgusting. When you just
Okay, so you definitely we're talking about foods. Any foods you don't like over there on the other side of the street, on the odd side. Yeah, that's you. Any foods you don't like?
You're next.
So anyway, we've got a couple of new faces here. What's your name?
Loretta.
Loretta and
Danny.
Danny. At the moment we're talking about food. Any foods you don't like, Danny?
Yeah,
a lot of foods. But is there one particular food that you hate? I mean, we've heard on previous Talkaokes what foods you like, but is there a
bacon?
Bacon. Is it anything to do with the colour?
No, I just hate the taste.
Right, okay.
Bacon.
Okay. And Loretta, any particular food you don't like? Raspberries?
When I was little, it used to be liver.
Yeah.
Cod liver oil, especially.
Do you still eat liver?
On occasion, but not much.
Really? Okay, so you do eat it. Yeah.
What about black food, like black pudding?
Black pudding, what, you don't like it?
I don't like it.
Is it similar to the raisins thing, do you think?
It's because they're black.
No?
I don't like it.
Okay, so you don't like black pudding. We found something that you don't like to eat.
Black pudding, I don't like it.
Okay, so very deep, dark colours.
So black food is becoming a trend now, isn't it? I've seen some like how do you call it? The waffle that you put the ice cream on.
Black waffles.
Black waffles, and apparently they paint it with what's it? It's what?
You mean the fish? Sepia?
What's that?
It's the ink, the squid ink.
Squid ink?
Yeah,
Really?
it's called sepia. Sepia.
Okay. Squid ink. Oh wow. Okay.
But I mean, there's lots of black things that are quite interesting. Like I got a little jar of black sesame seeds. I use them for like for food. Yeah, for garnish.
Do you like black foods apart from raisins?
Raisins, even the yellow ones, I just don't like. I don't like raisins. Okay. It's not a color thing.
Okay, we never ran around and found out the foods that people don't like and why, because we didn't go to Robert.
Regarding the colors, I don't have problems with colors. I can eat everything.
Is there a food you don't like?
If you have, no.
Nothing at all?
No, I'm open for everything, basically. Yeah.
No?
No.
Black foods, do you know what black pudding is?
I never had black pudding.
You never tried it?
Maybe this is the thing I will hate it.
Yeah. Okay. And Beatrice, her food?
I hate Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts? Okay. All right. Okay. What's this? On this side?
Oh, my wife, otherwise known as the battle axe.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. That could be a whole new subject.
She doesn't like eels.
Right. Do you like eels?
No. Well, I like eels, but I don't like eating them.
Okay.
Same, I'm with
So
him.
you don't eels? No. Anyone like eels around the table? No.
I've had them once.
Yeah.
I don't have a huge problem with it, but out of solidarity, I won't like eels.
So, why do we have these foodstuffs that nobody likes? Nobody at all likes. Why? I mean, why does it even exist?
No, because somebody does.
Yeah.
No, I
don't know.
It proves it goes to show everyone's different.
Yeah.
We're all the same. We'd be on a conveyor belt, wouldn't we?
Yeah. But no one here likes eels. Not a single person.
Kind of okay.
Well, no, a little bit of eel. I've had a little bit of eel. It's all right, but it's just there's something about it. It's just there's something. Yeah. Well, don't slip. Especially that pie eel shop. They serve it in. Yeah. It's just.
Yeah.
The fact that I was doing a job on the Thames and we bumped into two police boatmen, and we were talking about what they were up to, and they said they just fished out a body in the Thames. And what happens is that when they fish out bodies in the Thames, they take the body out, and then what happens is that eels go into every single orifice in the body.
Right.
That's their natures. Yeah. They just go in there and they eat everything.
Right, but they don't.
And all the eels come out. Yeah.
Oh, it's like a Japanese manga.
Eels are bottom feeders.
Right. So is that where they start on the body?
Yeah. Then
anything touches the floor of the river, the eels come out. So they hide under rocks.
Right. Okay.
They're meat eaters, so a body would be nice for them.
Okay.
They don't turn down food.
Okay. So eels, whereas we don't particularly want to eat eels, eels are not that fussy when it comes down to it. Yeah. I mean, are we too fussy now with our food? Do you think? Yes, you think so?
I think definitely, and I think also food preferences are very cultural, and there are certain things that some people have been brought up to eat since they were little, and in certain cultures they're delicacies. And then you go, and they're disgusting maybe to you because you never had them, you never seen them.
Can you give us an example?
Okay, I was in Brazil once, and and fantastic food, and I ordered this dish without really fully understanding what it was. I didn't want to. I don't want to be sort of. It has to be European for me to like it, and it was some kind of like see-through jelly covered in white stuff, not Coke. Just I don't know what the hell it was.
Like a white powder.
It was just weird, but it was the consistency of this jelly thing. It was just nothing. It was just.
What was it?
I still don't know. And for instance, but I ate some of it. Just
Did you try and sort of make out that you'd eaten more than you actually had somehow?
Yes, I played with it on the plate.
Okay, so let me just come to Asha. I'll come to you. So.
Yeah, what we're saying is, back home where I come from, you don't have a lot of the choices.
Where is that?
In Somalia.
Yeah.
You have a one breakfast pancake, the dinner, 7 people, 6 people eating one plate. If you don't eat it there, you'll be hungry. You don't get tonight pancake. But I've got kids, got everything, and everybody say, I don't like this, I don't like this. Because a lot of the thing is front of them. That's the choice. That's the way the problem is.
Yeah. Have we got too much choice now? We're talking about, is there any particular food you hate? That's what we're talking about here. Come and take a seat. Come and get involved in this. I might even get some more seats in a minute. Lucy, what are you going to say?
I was going to say that when I was on holiday in Mexico, I went to one of those stalls that you get on the street, and I thought I'll just have something like a quesadilla or something nice, wrapped taco or something, and I pointed to something, and the woman said, "Oh yes, cabeza de vaca," and I went, "Oh okay, that's fine, I'll have it." And when I went away and translated what cabeza de vaca was, it was cow's brains, and very chewy insides of cow's brains, and I was like, I wish it was chewy and a bit tasteless, but with a lot of hot sauce. Hey, can eat anything if you got the sauce.
Okay, so cow's brains, and we're talking about what foods we dislike. Are we too fussy these days? We've got a new face. Hang on a sec, Rob. We've got a new face at the table. What's your name?
John.
John, did we get your name? We didn't get your name.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, Loretta, Beata, Robert, Lucy, John, and we got Danny and Dave and Gaz, and we got Gary walking out with another beer. Luke, I was going to say something. Oh yeah.
In China, they got there's two things, but I'm going to talk about. It's a thing called 100 years old egg.
Right.
And what they do is they bury the egg.
Yeah.
And it goes black.
Right.
And then what they do is they make sure the egg's not cracked, and they bring it up. It's delicacy, and they cut it and they put it in a kind of salad.
So you've got to make sure do you cook the egg before?
I've never had it, and I've avoided it, because I thought, I don't fancy that, you know what I mean? Because it's that's the colour, because it's black.
Yeah.
And it's there's a thing about eggs. You just think I don't know whether I. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my.
Okay, we're talking about disgusting foods at the moment.
Yeah. So how many people have eaten the insects? That's a big thing in Cambodia and Vietnam. They're very crunchy. Yeah. I remember.
So have you eaten insects?
Well, I had the odd go.
Yeah.
But Daralba was really into it, man. She was in the corner of the hotel room going. I thought it was in some sort of horror film. She was like ingesting these things like crickets and. They're dried, Scorpions, in fact, have been defanged. They have to be defanged, of course, otherwise.
Defanged scorpions?
Yeah, defanged.
Okay. I didn't even know scorpions had fangs. Well, there we go. That's what we learned.
Apparently they have.
That's the great thing about this job. You learn stuff all the time.
Now they've got big teeth, man.
Yeah.
I was in Thailand, and I was with my girlfriend, who's now my wife.
Yeah.
And
was she the...
No, hold on.
Yeah.
We
tarantulas.
Okay.
Yeah. Defanged tarantulas, not scorpions.
Okay. And there were roadside vendors who were selling like wraps in bamboo of rice.
Yeah.
And they had cooked ants in them.
Right. Okay. Did you try one?
Yeah, we had it, and it was fine.
Yeah. What would it taste like?
Just like rice. Actually.
Okay, so rice with like other ricey bits that haven't.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Along with eels, I think the other most hated and detested food is snails.
Really? Okay, you don't like snails. Okay.
Oh no, they're disgusting.
Okay, Loretta?
So in going on that theme of Thailand, I had when I was getting my hair done.
Yeah.
I had there was cockroaches, all sorts, and I didn't have that, but I had a.
What were they just offering them as you had your hair done?
Yeah, they were offering it to the locals, and they come around with a big trolley full of stuff, and I had a chocolate-covered grasshopper. That was nice. And then I was going to say about in Vietnam, a delicacy is bird spit soup.
Bird spit soup. And what is that? Literally made from bird spit.
Yeah, it's a delicacy. It's very expensive.
Okay. How do they harvest the bird spit?
It's one of the most expensive. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
They get it from caves, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about, yeah. Did they do that at McDonald's? Birds Spit Soup?
Kills office, was you?
I mean, what do you think of all these? Very exotic delicacies? Would you try any of them?
You know my delicacy, Mikey.
Yeah.
McDonald's, yeah. So
Okay, so
I don't try no other food, only that.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
A friend of mine, this again a Chinese story,
Yeah.
and I was quite astounded by this. But they make a beer, and it's out of gecko balls. All right, gecko ball beer.
testicles?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. And the thing is, she got the tour.
Yeah.
She got a tour of the factory, and of course,
Yeah.
it's supposed to, be good for you because it's supposed to raise your libido, all that kind of
Yeah.
salesman. But you think to yourself, how the hell did you know that this is going to make a good drink?
Yeah.
Gecko balls.
Does it make
you're
a
sitting
good
around and thinking,
drink?
what can you make a beer out of? Because there's a beer.
What does it taste like?
I haven't tasted it, but
Really?
I know it exists.
You
and
didn't
he
have
went,
the balls?
no, I didn't have the balls to. No, I never had the chance of it.
Yeah.
Really. But no. Anyway, so there you are. That's
Okay.
another.
We're talking about people trying all sorts of different things, and also tonight is about trying new experiences. And what I'm suggesting is there anybody out there that would like to try my job in the middle? Okay, we got. No, not my balls. No, well, at least, we finish at 10:30. We'll see what happens then. But anyway, right now, I think Bina's going to have a go in the middle of the table. So let's give a big round of applause. Maybe we'll keep the conversation going on.
I got Gus right here. Gus. John.
Just go around.
Okay. And you're
Loretta. Peter.
Robert.
Lucy.
John.
Gary.
Danny.
Mikey.
And I'm Bina. So I'm trying to. Could you hold my phone? Thank you. So we were talking about interesting food, right, and drinks, and stuff that. Yeah.
This is going to be really contentious. Would you, like the aeroplane that crashed in the Andes, which was made into a film called Alive? It crashed into the Andes where there was snow, and half of the people in the plane perished and were preserved in the snow, and the other half ate the skin and flesh of those who were frozen. Now, in that situation, would you do it, and could you?
So we got an opinion here.
Well, if you had to survive, you would do anything, and it tastes like pig anyway.
I wonder they call you man yellow.
Can we maybe talk about German cuisine, because that involves pig's trotters and things, doesn't it?
I don't know so much about it because I'm a vegetarian, but maybe you want to talk about it.
Yeah, because I think German food is designed to go with beer, isn't it? Generally, Kartoffelsalat, and a lot of pork. So almost like a culture designs its cuisine around what they drink.
But do we have any more thought? Oh, we have a new face in the round. What's your name, please?
I'm Akbal.
Okay, I won't be. Hi,
Yeah.
Akbal. I'm Sabina.
Hi, Sabine.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to repeat all the names, but people can.
Mikey.
Danny.
Gary.
John.
Lucy.
Robert.
Peter. Loretta.
Another John.
And Gaz.
Thank you. Do you have any thoughts about eating flesh, or the things that you have to have? You have to be courageous to try to eat.
I don't know. I don't think you have to be that courageous. Very, very spicy things, I suppose. Very, very hot, maybe. Like those, what do they call them? Carolina Reaper chilies and things like that. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not that keen on spicy, hot food. I mean, I'm eating Tabasco things, but not really spicy. These are quite sweet. So I could eat meat. I could eat flesh.
Right. So does it not matter then if it's human meat or other meat?
No, not really. I don't think so.
You got a thought on this, Matthew?
I mean, I think, to me, as a vegetarian, eating all flesh is a bit like that. It's a bit queasy. I don't know why people just kind of hang on to the human, like the human is disgusting. To me, whoops. Sorry. Let's get the sponge out. I don't know why people just think human is disgusting when a pig is actually quite similar. I don't.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I said that our anatomy is the closest to pig, and we like eating pig, so why wouldn't we eat each other? Is it a humanist point of view that you wouldn't eat another human, Emma?
I'm not Lucy. I'm not sure that I would do it. We were just discussing that you would do it if you absolutely had to, but I don't know if I could. I don't know. I might die.
Yeah, I would rather kill myself than eat somebody else. Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Exactly. I have the same. Basically, we've talked about that. If you just have a situation, then you need to survive, and then the only one way to survive is just kill someone. Then it's like kind of, I know, but it's like another question. It's just I can do it. I will die basically, and then.
I'm definitely getting off. I'm unhealthy, me. I'm too fattening, so.
Didn't Jonathan Swift write an essay about eating children, about eating the Irishes, the children of the Irish?
Does anybody know about this? You do?
Well, no, apparently... no, I don't know about that one, but apparently when they had starvation in Paris in the 1800s or late 1700s, people... Because in Paris, all the bodies were not buried in the ground, but they were in what they called catacombs. So they kind of ground up all the bones and ate the bones, turned the bones into a soup. And that's just what they did. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about disgusting food again.
And in the siege of Leningrad in the Second World War, they ate all the birds they could find, crows, sparrows, etc., rats, and then they went for the domestic cat and dog. So all the pets were eaten because the people of Leningrad were starving and were being besieged by the Nazis.
Around that night, didn't they?
It's an interesting question, though, the one that Mikey raised. How, in what way do humans deserve to survive, whereas the animals don't? What do you think? Any vegetarians here? We have one vegetarian here, vegan, right?
Yeah.
And another vegetarian, as far as I know. What's your thoughts on this?
On what are we talking about?
About why do humans have more right to survive than animals?
I think we all have an equal right to survive.
Right. Any more vegetarians? Hey there.
I mean, I don't think a pig has got as much right to survive as a human being. Being kind of a human, I wouldn't want pigs to have equal status. But at the same time, there are like mammals. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
They are like mammals, and they kind of, they're very similar in a way to humans. So it's not. They should be up there, I think, with humans.
Who was that philosopher that said, should animals have rights? Carl, how was it? Do animals have right and feelings? Well, if everyone's equal on Earth, obviously they've got the same sort of animals, feelings and that.
So,
yeah.
We got some new guests here. Please sit down, take a seat. Everybody can join in. Yeah. So, hello. What's your name, please?
Hello, I'm Evie.
Hi, Evie. I'm Sabina. I'm going to go for a round so everybody can say their names again.
Lucy.
Robert.
I am Beate.
Loretta.
Whoops.
And I'm called another John.
And I'm called Gaz.
I'm Akbal.
Danny.
Dave.
What's your name?
Mazida.
Hello. And your name?
Annie.
Annie. Hello. I'm Sabina. Welcome. So we're talking about which animals we would kill to eat, or are animals any different? Do you think there's a difference between a pig and a cow? Yeah, of course.
In history, they always say a world's gone mad when horses are put in court to bear witness to trials, things like that.
What do you mean by that? I don't really understand. Can you explain a little
So
more?
you have a court case and the witness is a horse.
How's that going to work? Can you explain?
Well, obviously it doesn't work. Yeah, and it doesn't work, and it's a bit mad to do that. But
Okay,
then
I
again,
think
also, and just moving on from there, eating horse meat is seen as. Sorry?
Yeah.
But surely the thing is that all animals are sentient beings, so the problem that I have is that there is a food chain for animals. So this animal will eat that animal, will eat that animal, will eat that animal. And without that food chain for those animals, they wouldn't survive. I love watching wildlife programs, but I hate watching when the tiger goes and kills the reindeer or the canoe. And I just can't, I find it really hard, but it is the food chain, and you can't deny that.
So do you think we're on top of that food chain? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I am mostly vegetarian, apart from when I get drunk. What do I think? Yeah, I have thought about whether it allows, if other animals eat each other, whether that justifies it. But I guess we're like the you know when you. I'm not expressing myself very well at all. You know, in Hyde Park and Bushy Park, I think it's Bushy Park, you have a lot of deer, and they're like, there's nothing eating them. Richmond, thank you, yeah. Richmond Park, there's nothing eating them, so they have to cull them every now and then. But maybe humans are that point in which we're just so we are the invasive species. So that's maybe why I think about not eating meat now.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
I think we're getting in dangerous territory. I think maybe we should think about maybe having less children.
Who has thought about that people should have less children? Yeah.
Okay, if you have less children, that creates a I can't even think of the word now. Population decline.
What? What's that?
It would create frustration at ball games because you ain't having children. You've got to occupy your mind somehow, haven't you?
Thank you.
Well, it creates a kind of decline in population, which is really bad for the planet anyway.
Why is the decline in population bad for the planet?
Because if there's no one around, there's no one to husband the animals, so the animals take over and destroy the planet anyway.
You think? Okay. So the animals are going to destroy. Oh, we have a new face here. Hello, what's your name, please?
James.
James. Hi, James. Should I do the round again? Yeah? Okay. We'll
Danny.
do
Dave. Mikey.
Evie.
Lucy.
Robert.
Beate.
Loretta.
And John.
And Gaz.
And Akbal.
And I'm Bina. Hi. Nice to have you at the table. So, what are your thoughts on this idea?
I didn't really hear what the beginning of the conversation was.
If we had less people on the planet, then the animals would take over and they would destroy the planet anyway. Do you agree?
I'm no expert, but I don't think they could destroy it any more than we are now, right?
Right. So do you think there should be less humans on the planet?
Yeah, I think that would probably be a good thing. Yeah.
And so, does anybody on the table have an idea how we could come to that goal, or do you not agree with this?
I don't agree.
Okay.
I really don't agree. I think actually, if you look at it worldwide, human population is in decline.
Is it?
Yes, it is. So a classic example is China, which introduced the one-child policy, which was a catastrophic mistake in terms of their population, because now they are in catastrophic decline in terms of their population. And actually we are, as a species, overall in terms of the planet, in decline, because we're having less children. Like my mother-in-law, for instance, Catholic family, she had 7 children. 7 children now is totally unheard of. It's like if you have 1 or 2 children now, that's the norm.
So we have many opinions around. First Berta, then Mikey, and then Abby.
Yeah, I just had to, I'm on your side because I have 2 children and I don't want to miss them. And I think it's not having children or not having children or having many or few. It's more like what you teach them to do with the environment, which is to save it.
Okay, Mikey?
Well, I mean, I think we are naturally, I think it's almost like a natural response to the fact that we are using too many resources, I don't know what it is, but we're using too much anyway. And it is a natural response to that actually we need to have less children. And if you've ever been to China, it's very crowded there. So they could do with less people in China.
Okay.
But I think we naturally do it. I don't think we need to cull people or force them to have less children.
Abby?
Oh, and I just think it's always a bit of a, it's a small scale problem in terms of a country. They're thinking, oh, we've got an aging population, we haven't got enough people to take care of them. But it's always like a countrywide thing, specific issues specifically rather than worldwide. So I always think that, why can we not, if people were able to move around a lot, and it's a very naive view, but if people were able to move around a lot, countries that are worried about having declining populations can, maybe get some people in from somewhere else.
So you think it's rather a matter of populations moving around than single nations deciding about their population?
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't really understand why we don't see ourselves much in a more global way. For example, there's a lot of talk at the moment about immigration in this country. The reason why generally people immigrate to the UK is because there's not very much going on economically in their country. So why are we thinking in this country to country thing? We should be investing in the whole world and getting, thinking globally rather than, I really can't understand, it's 2019, why we're thinking nationally rather than globally.
So we get some opinions here?
Yeah, but this is something you need to teach children. If you haven't done this your whole life, you won't change with 50 when you're a politician. You just say, okay, let's think globally now. We didn't do this the last years, but now we're doing this. So you have to grow with this, I think. And this is why we should, the good people should.
So is thinking globally only possible if it's
But this is a matter of persuading governments and so on, and I think it's not an understatement to say that capitalism will create wars entirely to deplete populations and to create new markets for itself, and that's so the drive to war is what our governments will try for, and that's why they rationalise reducing the population.
What are your thoughts on this?
What are we talking about first?
We're talking about declining or increasing populations worldwide, and is it a matter of national, should the nations take care of it, or should we see it as a global phenomenon and work on it globally?
Listen, I love kids, I've got 4 kids, yeah? But when I see that at first they're doing kids cannot have a medication, they cannot have a food, they cannot do things. I would say that, I know it's not a choice, it's the woman, but I would say, if I cannot find something to give my kids, my child, yeah, medication or anything, I would bring child on the world. Mm-hmm. But it's not only the woman, it's just something behind that. Maybe they get raped, maybe they're doing this, maybe they don't have a things, but it's sad to bring it and put on the TV when you're doing all this charity and taking us all this money you're doing it, and you're seeing kids, you put it on the TV, kids cannot even breathe, don't have a. I tell my kids, whatever they give me a hard time, say we don't like this, what I say, you need to appreciate it. The kids don't even have water, you know what I mean? But you should think about, do I bring kids, I cannot feed them, I cannot give medication. But I know the woman cannot have a choice because the man forced in it to having a kids, but it's a sad.
What are your thoughts on this?
I just wanted to respond to the capitalism and it creating a war to reduce population. I mean, that's kind of the antithesis of capitalism. You want to create more consumers. and sell more stuff. It's not really. I mean, why would you reduce your market? It makes no sense whatsoever.
You know, you've got the huge armaments and arms trades that are going on, and that generates some funding, but it also kills people. And you, if you are able to kill people and take over their territory, you take over their market and you sell stuff to them.
Yeah, and they're poor people anyway, so they don't contribute so much.
My issue with that as well is that the most expensive weapons kill the fewest people. They tend to be targeted to very specific infrastructure projects rather than individual people. So they may well destroy something that's a large infrastructure project but not kill very many people. Now, that is a great capitalistic way of dealing with things, because then you are selling an infrastructure, a building, maybe an airport, maybe a motorway, whatever. But that definitely does build up a kind of a marketplace. However, in killing people doesn't. That is counterproductive.
Mikey, what's your thought on this?
I mean, just what Akbar was saying, like in the Iraq War in 2003, Halliburton, which is Dick Cheney's company, came in and rebuilt the infrastructure of Iraq, and they made billions of pounds from that. So they did well. So in a way, it's not the people; it's like the rebuilding that actually, I think, makes the money. However, I think capitalism, in the end, always wants to grow its market and wants more people to buy more stuff.
Do you need more people to buy more stuff?
Not me personally.
Yeah.
If you have more people, there's less money, so no one's spending. Whereas if you eliminate the population, then fewer people have more money to spend on goods.
So,
it's drugs.
Can you explain that? What do you mean?
Well, drugs kill. And it's been given, and it's in the poorest areas, like heroin and all that, and it's all government funded.
How? In what sense is it government?
They control what comes in, and that. If you can't even get a TV. If you don't pay a TV license, the government's on you. So they know everything that's going on in this country. So obviously the drugs are coming in, but it's just a different quality of batches and that. But that's the most deadliest weapon that the government provides, drugs.
Do you agree?
I don't know what to say to that.
I do. Gary Webb was a journalist in the 70s who exposed at the time of the Iran-Contra controversy, he exposed the fact that the US was selling cocaine in order to fund weapons to sell to Iran and fund both sides of the war between Iran and Iraq. It's a well-known fact that what the US government has been doing is bringing in drugs to the US from initially Vietnam, when the Vietnam War was going on. If you look at Vietnam, the Golden Triangle, which has now disappeared because the US is no longer in Vietnam. Now Afghanistan, the biggest plantations of heroin are in Afghanistan, and that's the main reason that the US is in Afghanistan. It's nothing to do with terrorism and all that sort of thing, because if it was, that war would have been over a long time ago, you know. So they're making huge amounts of money out of drugs, bringing into the US.
We got some thoughts about this over here. You were saying something about this?
I was totally agreeing. If you put people on drugs, then they are spending, and it's the tension arises because they're not buying goods, they're buying drugs. So they perpetuate that by making people buy more drugs and less goods.
So there's yeah.
You've got the drug dealers buying the Mercedes, the BMWs, the big houses. So that's helping the economy grow, isn't it? So then you've got your high rollers and your low rollers, the users. They're just the zombies walking around. But if you take the drugs away from people, say if drugs never existed, we'd be fighting each other every day.
I have a question though. You were saying that you were saying instead of goods they buy drugs. So there is a difference between goods and drugs. What is the difference between it, and where's the line between it?
Tax. Tax to be paid.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Is that the only difference?
No, HSBC is the drug laundering bank of the world. So all the drug money comes into HSBC, they launder the drug money, and if we didn't have drug money, this economy would totally collapse.
What, you were saying something about it?
I was just saying, HSBC was my first bank, and I hate the buggers.
Okay. So, but could you think of a thing that is maybe there is kind of not such a strict line between the goods and the drugs things? Are there?
I'm thinking two things. One is that I think, like, especially in America, prescription drugs are huge, and they are the same drugs really, the opioid drugs, and everyone's addicted to them there. So to me, that would, in terms of capitalism, that works better for the capitalists because.
Which one does?
Selling opioids as prescription drugs rather than street drugs, yeah. And I think that probably will be the future.
They're trying to cap it, I suppose, now, though. Nowadays, in this country at least, the doctors are, for their own professional integrity, if nothing else, are trying to dissuade you from taking these powerfully addictive drugs, so there is some cap on it.
Do you think the definition of drugs is reduced to a substance, or could something else be also a drug? Something that's not a substance?
I think consumerism maybe. I was always thinking, when we're thinking about, we're discussing that capitalism is generally bad, or we're all sort of compelled to consume, but maybe we don't want to. And I was thinking about, I went into a bit of a YouTube hole the other day about Marxist YouTube videos, which was great. But then I was like, would I want to be a Marxist YouTube videos? And I was thinking, do I want to be a Marxist? And I was thinking, well, ideologically, yes, but I worry that I like stuff too much. And would you just be miserable as a Marxist? And that's my only fear.
Do we like stuff too much? Who likes stuff here?
I buy too much. Oh God, anything, gadgets. I bought. Essentially, I was quoted a certain amount for air conditioning for my office, and then I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to buy it and fit it myself so I can buy more tools. And I bought loads and loads of tools. I'm never going to use them again.
So do you think
I really quite like having these boxes with, with torque wrenches in them and. Kind of, yeah. So it's like doing something, because I don't really do that much kind of physical work. But I know they will collect dust, but I quite like having these little orange boxes and with stuff in them. It's quite nice.
Anybody else have a knack for
I guess I'm the Marxist that doesn't have any stuff. So mind you, I've got a lot of stuff in the studio, but. I think it is like a drug. When you buy something, it's like you get the hit. It's like maybe not as exciting as a cocaine hit, but it's a similar sort of thing. You just get the buzz.
Do you get addicted to it, to this feeling?
To me, I'm not addicted to either cocaine or buying stuff. I'm addicted to social media and scrolling through Facebook, which I think is the same buzz again.
So, anybody here, any thoughts about social media as a drug? You do? Yes, please.
Well, I wasn't going to speak about social media, but I do think that the whole idea of addiction, compulsion to do particular things is worth a bit more thought, because the quality of addiction is vested in human beings. It's not a property of the things that we may become addicted to. So this is going to assert itself in ways, in a variety of ways. One, obviously, that we know about now is shopping. And many people are really and truly addicted to shopping. My thoughts about shopping, being one who can't exercise that privilege because I don't have the dosh, but my thoughts about that are, I think, psychologically driven to say, I wonder if it is that in exercising the shopping activity that people find a sense of the power that is otherwise missing from their lives. But then this is also true for almost everything else that you can see that is addictive. There's a thought. The addiction is within ourselves. So where we have an objection to capitalism, it isn't the capitalism that's the problem. It's the fact that some people with the dosh have discovered that they can manage addictions on a very big scale. Have a look at Amazon.
Yeah,
they don't pay their taxes.
Yeah, Mikey.
So what you're saying was we're addicted to power. Are we addicted to power? And are we all addicted to power?
Okay, when you're on Facebook and you get a reply to something you post, it produces endorphins. So we're actually addicted to generating endorphins.
Right.
So it creates a chemical in your blood that makes you feel good. And that's what people buy into.
The shopping thing's an interesting one, because I think an awful lot of people don't have the dosh. They borrow it and live off of debt, essentially. Personal debt's skyrocketing. People don't buy a car anymore. They just lease a car, or they'll take it. Yeah, and I mean, that's the ultimate. You just throw away your car at the end of 3 years. It's quite an odd thing for me to think. I don't think like that. I mean, I'll buy a car because I want that thing. Whereas maybe if people are thinking, well, I'll just have it for a little time and then get rid of it and change my mind, but not necessarily be able to afford it. This is the crazy thing. I don't understand.
Okay, we have some new people here. Hello. Who are you? What's your name?
Oh, Daphne.
Daphne, hello, welcome.
Hi, my name's Tim.
Hi Tim, this is Talkaoke. I'm going to do a round because we haven't done it for a while now.
Hi, I'm Birte. Hi, Loretta.
Okay, great.
Just say your name, please.
John.
We're, doing another round.
James.
Dave.
Mikey.
Evie.
Oh, and I'm Bina. Very welcome at the Talkaoke table. This is a talk show where everybody can join in. So we were talking about addictions and shopping and what? Arts.
I hope they find them.
And where is addiction essentially about power? Do you have any thoughts on addiction? We were also talking about social media, and people get addicted to not only drugs, like substances, but sometimes also to things. What is going on?
Someone's in trouble.
Can I say something?
Yeah, yes, please.
I think in terms of like accumulating things, in terms of like the capitalist vision, we have been brought up from day one to believe that, you know, you go to school, get qualifications, get a good job, your success is monitored in terms of how many things you acquire, how big your property is, how many things you own, that sort of thing. So my argument is that actually the reality is that we can see from, say, these Hollywood stars, for instance, who've just completely made it, and they are totally successful in terms of the materialistic vision, that actually once they attain that goal, that it doesn't bring happiness whatsoever. That, you know, happiness is not based on how many things you can buy or acquire. It's based on much more fundamental aspects in life, which are much more basic, which is human interaction, and the simpler things in life.
Right, but still people...
I think of Fight Club when you were talking, so that was a good film to demonstrate that.
Demonstrate what?
Demonstrate the intricacies of buying the idea of IKEA and having a catalogue of stuff within your premises to feel that you have made it.
So yeah?
What was I going to say? If you have it and you wish to flaunt it, I don't see why you can't flaunt it if you do genuinely have it. But if you're pretending to have it, yeah, then I think you need to kind of address that in your own free time. Because I'm an employment advisor and I work for a charity. And you'd be surprised by the amount of young people, let's say between the age of 16 to about 35, who pop into my office and they're wearing like really expensive perfumes. We're talking Creed, you know, something that costs like over £200, or people who wear like really latest, you know, Nike trainers, and you're just like, but you're on universal credit. And they're like, yeah, but I've got to look the part, Daphne. People expected me to look a certain way. And, you know, with a lot of pressure coming from friends and family, you know, they feel the need to have to invest in these things, even if it means not paying the bills. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a little bit sad, but
do you think this pressure is something real? Does it actually exist, or do they just invent it?
The pressure does exist. I mean, I know young people who, like, if you don't look a certain way, you can't really go out with your friends, or when you do go out, they make you feel like you're not good enough. They make you feel like you need to step up. And I think that's what a lot of young people are now looking into, like, you know, selling drugs, for example, because it's quick cash and you don't pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think what you're talking about, Dave, is the other side of that, when you realise all of that is empty. So I think when you're still struggling and you're trying to make it, then the trainers and the perfume make sense. But when you've made it, it doesn't make sense anymore, because you make it and... come on, have you made it? Come and have a seat. Talkaoke, this is. Maybe you can explain it.
Hello, this is Talkaoke. It's an instant talk show. Everybody can join in. So what's your name, please?
Tim.
Hi, Tim. Welcome. I'm going to do a round again.
Dave.
Mikey.
Evie.
Tim 2.
Daphne.
Beata. Loretta.
John.
And James.
And I'm Bina, and we're talking about how young people nowadays feel like they have to wear a certain kind of perfume or in expensive clothes in order to look like they can be something. So do you feel this kind of pressure too? Do you sometimes think I have to buy this in order to look like I'm successful?
No.
What do you think about this?
I honestly don't know what the fuck I think about that.
If you're let's say your nephew told you, look, I think I have to buy these trainers because otherwise my friends don't accept me, what will you say to him?
I'd say, come with me to the jungle and do some ayahuasca.
Who has had such a conversation with their, I don't know, nephew or niece or maybe?
I mean, for me, I don't really care about such things apart from my van. You know, I've got to have a good van, a good working. I mean, I'd rather have a Mercedes van, but I've got a Renault Traffic and my bicycle as well. I definitely wouldn't have a Ford Transit, but.
So does every Marxist have to have a secret, like, consumerist weak spot? Is that what you're saying?
What do you think?
Well, I think this is what I was wondering, because is it like an attachment to isn't the attachment to stuff a bad thing, or can it be just a way that you live your life? So I also have a bike which I love really dearly, and I love like taking it apart and giving it a service. But yeah, and books. I'm bad with buying books.
And then can I just add to that? Like, I've got an addiction for like bags. I love expensive bags. Like, and I think everyone has the thing. I know people who spend thousands on food, and I'm like, it's just food. It doesn't make sense. Surely it does not make sense. And I'm just like, why don't you just save your money and buy something, you know, more that could be a potentially an asset. You know, why are you wasting money on food? Like, it's just food. It doesn't make sense. But I think everyone has that thing that they would just spend on. Like, they don't care. It could be a car. It could be shoes. Tell us.
£4,680 a year on McDonald's. A day. Yeah, that's the truth.
We have a new face at the table. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Daisy.
Hi, Daisy. We're talking about what people like to spend their money on. So,
£8 a day.
what do you like to spend your money on? What's the one thing you can't go without? Traveling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else are the things that you think of that are worth spending?
I don't know. It's a really good question. What's everyone else been saying?
Well, we've got bags, food, a van, a bicycle, books. What else do we have?
I like just spending money on like friends, on like food and drink, and yeah. I get massive like consumer guilt, so I tend to like splurge and then not spend.
Okay, that's a good option maybe.
Yeah, I spend a lot of money on my kids, and yeah, it's all. But if you really think about it, I often feel that I'm compensating for not being with them because I'm working or something like that, and I should stop that because it's not. Huh?
By proxy guilt as a mum.
Yeah. And because I'm teaching them having things and getting things is good, and so they're asking for it, and yeah.
Anybody else experience this kind of guilt buying before?
Every time I buy, I'm like, oh my gosh, Daphne, what have you done? And then I have to call my sister to confirm it was a good buy. And then she's like, Daphne, Daphne, in 5 years' time, you know, it's going to be worth the same amount. And then if you plan to sell it on, you're going to be okay, Daphne. And I'm sure you saved a little bit of money. And it's such a good investment. And think about when you have kids, they can inherit all these things from you. I'm like, oh, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. You're so right. I'm just going to hold on to the back. She's like, yeah, just do that.
Maggie?
Oh, no. Oh, and then also maybe there is a value which I sort of got challenged for. I used to be very rude about spending lots on fashion, but actually there is an argument for spending more on less. And I used to always why is someone spending so much on clothes? But then actually, if you know that it's been well made by someone who's got a talent, then actually that is. So I used to think it was something frivolous, and it's only been in the last couple of years that I kind of changed my perspective on it. And it was quite a challenging one because I thought I was very moral by not caring about clothes and only spending cheaply, but actually that was worse. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Throwaway economy for disposable goods. It doesn't do well for the environment.
And I think when you buy good quality, they also owe their value as well. And I think it's worth it. Why not? Yeah.
So what else? Yeah.
My father was in that business, in the rag trade, and what I can tell you is that quality is very much in the eye of the beholder. So for example, let's put it this way, he worked for very high-end brands, expensive retail brands, and very, very low-end high street brands. And in terms of the cost of manufacture, it's about the same. There's hardly any difference. The biggest difference is actually the quality control. So when you're dealing with somebody like Topshop, your quality control is exceptionally high. They want to make sure everybody gets a good product because that person keeps that product for 2-3 seasons, maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe even 8 or 9 years. Somebody buying at a very high end is keeping it for 1 season. They really couldn't care less if it falls apart after 3 wears. That's all they were looking for. Now, that's changed because an awful lot of what's called designer brands are not designer brands, they're high street brands, they're mass produced. So for example, sometimes my father would produce 50 items and that would be the entire thing for the entire season. And then you'd be working with Topshop and you'd be producing 500,000 of the same item, in different sizes, obviously. But there's a huge difference, and when you're looking at high-end, quality control was more about where the label was placed and was that stitched really well. The rest of it didn't have to be. Nobody cared. At least that's my experience, and that was some time ago, but it's...
We got an objection here.
I think it's totally different now, especially for certain brands. I'm not talking, Gucci. I'm not a Gucci fan, so I can't really comment on that. But then when you think more Gucci, it's more in season. So because of that, I'm not sure about Gucci being able to hold its value, or, if it's going to be worth the same thing in 2 years' time, or if people are still going to be talking about it. So let's take, for example, my Louis Vuitton bag here. Everything about this bag I love. I totally get where you're coming from. It's everything from the stitching to the way things are made. I mean, I love it so much. I've actually recently learned to authenticate the bags. How sad is that? I know. Yeah. There's a way to actually check if every bag is genuine, and it's crazy because the stitching are always the same. So for example, if you count how many stitchings are here, it's always going to be the same on every single Louis Vuitton bag. Sounds sad, but it's true, and I think that's quite exciting as well. It gets your brain thinking, ooh, yeah, I know something new that you don't know. Show me your bag. Let me tell you if it's real or not, I don't know.
Is it a value in itself to have something individual, you think?
It's the only ever authentic thing that's been in this street. That's true, that is true. Dagenham Market, Dagenham Market.
I mean, I wonder what we mean really by authentic, because in a way, there's probably designers, actual bag makers around here that make their own bags, that are like local producers or local fashion designers. Isn't that more authentic than a global brand like Louis Vuitton?
What do you think about it?
Oh no, I was sort of just humming and thinking, yes, I agree with Mikey. Not very exciting. But I'm interested to hear the rebuttal.
Sorry, but there are some things that you benefit from in terms of that kind of branding. So Louis Vuitton does fantastic luggage now, and very innovative luggage. So for example, a fairly newish series of their cabin bags and so on have excellent handles. Incredibly well thought out handle and fitting, so you don't have this ridiculous thing in the middle of the bag which irritates you. You can't put anything in the bag, and Louis Vuitton have thought about this, but at the very same time you've got incredibly cheap bags that are at the very bottom of the market that have the same idea. So it's not necessarily the case that they innovate always, but they can innovate, and they can produce. I mean, the handle looks beautiful on the Louis Vuitton. It's beautifully crafted aluminium handle, but it's not always the case that it's just the idea. It's just how they execute the idea.
Okay,
we just pay for the brand in a way, and the way it makes us feel, and the history sometimes behind it is quite nice as well to know. Yeah.
So this is Talkaoke. It's an instant talk show. Everybody can join in. So, we're very happy you're here. What's your names?
My name's Anthony.
Hello, Anthony.
And Valerie.
Hello, Valerie. I'm going to do another round, okay?
Daisy.
Akbel.
Danny.
Mikey.
Evie.
Daphne.
I'm Birte.
And John.
I'm Bina. Welcome at the Talkaoke table. And we're talking about things that are worth spending on, and we were just talking about what kind of what are the characteristics that make things worth the actual money that we're spending on, and is the quality that is promised by a brand actually a real quality? Do you have any thoughts on this?
I have thoughts on everything.
Great. What do you like to spend money on?
Well, I spent money a few years ago, about 18 years ago, on a car. Because I fell in love with it. And we were in Cannes at the time for the advertising festival, and we were walking down the road, and there were crowds, small crowds of people huddled around, and I wanted to see what they were looking at. So my partner and I, we went to kind of peek over their shoulders, and there was this really beautiful car that looked like a toy car. It reminded me of a car I'd had as a child, and I thought, I was instantly in love. I loved the shape of it. There was just something incredibly seductive about it and elegant. And when we went back to Paris, which is where we lived at the time, I spent a lot of money on ordering one, but it wasn't that expensive. It was a Smart 18 years ago, but they bought out a Roadster. They bought out a baby sports car that was affordable with a soft top and a beautiful little engine, and it was very green because it used less fuel and everything was encompassed. I bought this little car in black, and 18 years later I still have it and I still drive it, and it's just, I wouldn't part with it for the world.
So we got Mikey.
I mean, that's actually funny enough. That's my dad's favourite car as well. Although he never bought one, he always regretted not buying one. But I'm wondering if, when it comes to the handbag and the car, is it about what it says about ourselves? Is it, what does Louis Vuitton say about Daphne, and what's your name again? Anthony. What does the Smart Roadster say about Anthony, or the Renault Traffic van say about me?
What does it say about you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, at least there's only one dent in it, so at least it shows I'm a careful driver. Nearly careful.
You wanted to say something before?
No, I'm alright, I'm lost. I can't even spend on dentists at the moment, so I'm alright.
Okay. What do you think the things that you're spending on say about you? You were talking about you like to spend on books, and what else?
That's a bit of an impulse. I think I've joined the library as well, and actually now I get the same kick as it's great. There's this place where you can get all the books for free. Who knew? You get the same kick though, and then I always get too many books out at the same time, and then I have to read. I take a long time to read them. Have to keep renewing them. So I think what it shows is that I'm a hoarder.
Okay.
I mean, could you have the same? You were talking about all these young people that are spending £200 on trainers. Maybe they could have like a brand library as well, where they get the same buzz. They get the same buzz of getting the trainers, but they don't actually keep them. They just have them for a day.
Does this exist?
That actually exists. No, that exists. You can subscribe to whatever, like a certain amount every month, and you can have designer clothes, dresses, all sorts of things. Can't remember the name of it, but it's there's several of them. Sorry.
Very.
No, it's not very. There's several of them. It's not just the one, and people like to just wear them for special occasions and things like that.
And would you like to try this one?
No.
Anybody would like to try this? Would you?
No, I should say, when I used to live in Scotland, there used to be a tool library, and it was free, and you could go and take out tools that you needed, and I really like that. But I haven't found one in London yet, so maybe this is what you should start, the London Tool Library.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't it be for something that's, beautiful and exquisite and less functional, that, as a tool, which we all need and love, but the idea of actually having something that you can borrow and be affordable, that gives almost everyone an opportunity. It's actually a more egalitarian way of dealing with design that's out of reach.
I mean, why? Because there's a lot of artists over here just chit-chatting away because they've got an art opening there. Could you have an art library where you just take out an artwork for a month and then just...
They exist, yeah. You can subscribe and you pay... you pay for a certain... depends, you pay according to what you can afford, I guess. I mean, you can have Picassos and whatnot as well if you want, but then you're paying that bit more every month.
Do you think this is an option? Would that be an option for you to assign to art? Yeah.
What would you put in a library if it was? What about jewellery?
Maybe.
Valerie's a jewellery designer.
Bit show shrug.
See ya. I've got a thing really. I don't like using what other people have touched. Even the glass, I know it's clean here, but even for my own family, if someone goes to drink from my cup, I have to carry it away. Like, so I wouldn't be interested in wearing shoes what someone else has worn. Even at bowling today, it's like I was the biggest snob. And going out, and I'm the least snobbiest person, but I don't want to be anywhere near them shoes. It's a fashion statement, like it's a fashion passion killer, whatever it is. It's just. But I wouldn't even handling money. I don't like. It's not that I'm a germaphobe. I just don't. From what I work in and I've dealt with in life, I know what people are like. And well, I'm not saying you're around here, but it's just what people are like. Toilet habits, or just they don't wash off cooking food. But at least, like, well, with the McDonald's, I eat it every single day. But at least with the McDonald's, it's fresh. It's cooked fresh. No. I've been in the back kitchens of the McDonald's, and when I go there, I spend there about 10 minutes because I know it's being fresh. Like, because we've all just come accustomed to things, really, and we've just let other things be the norm, and we let it take over. But if you take a stand and go, no, hang on a minute, I'm paying for this service, I want this service to the next standard that I want. And well, that's how I work, really, but I'm just being me.
I think like if we go to second-hand shops, and if you acclimatise yourself to that notion, that idea that you could go and buy a pair of trousers that's been washed, and maybe they might have. Do you know what? We once slept in a bed on a mattress in an edit suite that had literally been pulled out of someone's home that we didn't know at the time, but we had nowhere else to sleep, so that was in Portsmouth, where I'm from. And it was in a council building where they put an edit suite, believe it or not, and it was a community. But so we pulled out this mattress.
Edit suite. What's an edit suite?
An edit suite is an area. It used to be on video on VHS, where you can edit your footage or rushes to make a short film or a news item or a journal. And an artist in the area, he had decided to put like a community TV facility within a council estate. So I helped him set it up because I'd had a bit of experience with that, and we created this edit suite. And unfortunately, no one used it because I think they were intimidated by what they could do with it, because they weren't really shown, how they could use it. But the idea was really good. I mean, we benefited from it, not kind of like we didn't have that in mind when we helped set it up, but it allowed us to edit a short film, which then changed our career. So it was a really good thing to have.
So this was it was set up for the community, but then
yes,
the people didn't actually use it.
Yeah, it was arts funded, and there was a channel, I believe, that you could tune into, because the building all had a communal aerial. So by turning it to a certain frequency, you could get this channel. So there was a facility, there was cameras, there was everything, and you just needed a few people, a few sparks to just go, well, I want to make a documentary about my dog or whatever, an opportunity to create something, craft something. And once again, it was very egalitarian. It was for everybody. It just needed that initial push to get it going.
But why do you think that the people...
Well, it wasn't, voyeurism, it could be a documentary about that even, because all of those buildings were looking in on each other. So it could, that could be the beginning of, Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, or, that kind of thing.
I mean, I wonder what documentary a dog would make. Do you know what I mean? What would a dog's eye view be? And what would the dog, would it be about smells? I mean, how would it work? What would dogs actually consider to be important? I think that would be really, would it be food? I mean, would it be all the different places that the dogs had peed?
What do you think?
I love that, where it's peed. Why not? Yeah, let's make something of it.
What will your dog documentary look
do you know what's so funny, actually? I recently...
Documentary.
Do you guys know about a website called Borrow My Doggy? Yeah? Check this out. I love it. So a few years ago, for my sister's birthday, I was being really cheap because I wasn't talking to her. I was upset with her. I decided to get people involved to decide what to buy her. It was like less than £50. And someone was like, oh, you mentioned your sister loves dog. I was like, yeah. They were like, do you know about this website called Borrow My Doggy? I said, how much? And they were like, what, £20 or less for a year? Yeah, there you go. So I thought, this is wonderful. I registered and then called her up and gave her the login details. And then she met this wonderful dog called Lucy. I'm going to show you all a picture later. And literally, it's changed her life. Within that 2 to 3 years, she started her own business, run a recruitment agency, which is like one of the most challenging things to do ever. And from there, she gets really stressed. But having Lucy around has totally changed the quality of her life. And now we're really good friends with the owner as well. Like, we'll go out for drinks. That website rocks.
So let me just see if I understand. So you register and then you take their dogs out. Is that how this is working here?
Basically, you register with a fee. It's all done online. Once that's processed, you start getting.
You look for local, because it's all by geography. So you look for a dog that it's not far from you and that you find attractive. And then you go and meet the owner and the dog and see if it works. It works out. For the first dog we chose was the best.
What do you think? What's his name? Rufus. Doesn't seem to have an opinion.
Anyway, talking about borrowing my doggy and like exchanging different positions and different people. What we're doing tonight is we're trying out different people in the middle of the table, and I think Bina's been in for quite a long time, so let's give her a huge round of applause. Have we got somebody else to have a go in the middle? Are you going to have a go, Beata? Okay, so let's give Beata a big round of applause. We'll try and keep it live. I mean, there's so many subjects on the table now, dog exchange website. I'm learning so much tonight about dogs and about other stuff as well.
This is based on a Japanese idea, because everything we're thinking of, the Japanese are doing it now.